All right, 1,000 miles to go and no spinnaker line.
We're not really running out of anything except for the fresh stuff.
He's like, if you won't make bread, damn it, I'm gonna make bread.
Okay, I need
Send me $10,000. I'm in trouble. Help.
or else get me off this crazy boat with these.
All stations, all stations, all stations. This is sailing vessel Friendship, sailing vessel Friendship. We have an MOB alert that is out.
For the last 8 years of full-time travel, we have prided ourselves on being on a path that is created by us and only us.
And if you guys haven't noticed yet, I cut my hair.
It's hard work to keep it going, but it's worth it knowing that the only person whom we answer to is ourselves.
Oh my gosh,
Is that good?
I'm in love.
Should we get more?
With our Atlantic crossing, our family has taken on a challenge that only a small percentage of people attempt, and for us, this is a really big deal.
What are we looking at? What are the winds?
19s.
With everything else we do, we try our best to document the experience with the hopes of inspiring others to take the leap and to have a memoir of what we've accomplished.
This is one of Will's favorite spots. He comes out here each morning and talks to the camera. I don't even know if this stuff makes the vlog. I just think it's his moment.
But a few vlogs ago, we received a comment that asked, when are we going to be done with the crossing episodes and get caught up?
To be honest, Mom, I don't think these turned out that bad.
For a moment, we thought there was validity to the comment. So we made a decision to wrap up the story quickly to appease the one commenter.
It's not exactly the Atlantic crossing we were expecting. Not even close.
Crazy? Yes, I know, and 100% not our style.
It's unlikely I'm going to remain in focus because there's not enough light out here, but it kind of feels like my state of mind, so it's quite fitting.
So if you were expecting a conclusion to our Atlantic crossing, you're just going to have to wait a few more days. There is still more to share.
So when I'm watching other people's vlogs, they do an ocean crossing, like, oh, it's so boring, you have so much free time. And I know I've been off and on sick, but I don't have that much free time.
In the meantime, sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of our Atlantic crossing where things are not exactly going as planned, which is just the way we like it.
So I was just getting ready to turn the camera on and tell you guys that now during my night shift, it is completely calm and wonderful and beautiful and no squalls like Brad and Will had. And just as I went to hit record, a squall came.
Thank you so much to our patrons whose support make these episodes possible. One of the reasons recording video while at sea is a bit of a challenge is because salt surrounds you everywhere you go, which for electronics is a real issue to overcome. In our case, we try to avoid salt issues as much as possible by constantly cleaning our gear. But during the crossing, we got a little slack and wound up with a bit of footage that sounded like this. And this, which we did not realize until after we had landed in Martinique.
In other news on the fishing front, there's been no fishing. We've heard of other boats who are catching their fair share of mahi, but for us there's been zero opportunity because every time we throw out the fishing line we catch seaweed. There's been an extraordinary amount of seaweed that's been floating around in the Atlantic along our path, and we're kind of tired of just pulling it back in and seeing a big patch of seaweed and saying, well, we can't eat that.
So a provisioning update. We're doing really well. I provisioned meals for about, let's see, I think 20 official meals for about 26 days in the event we went over our provisions, but then I have miscellaneous meals and things that we could pull together probably for another, I don't know, 18 years. Maybe it's another 2 weeks. So status update on the provisions. Over here, Brad's busy in the kitchen, so it's going to be a small update. Right here, we're pretty much still full. These are liquids, milk, snacks like chips and crackers and all that kind of stuff.
Celebration beers in there too.
Celebration beers in there, coffee. There's extra pasta and stuff in there. In Avalon's room, she's asleep, so we're not going to go in there. In her whole, what do you call that thing? Like a cold storage is completely full with grains.
We've barely touched that.
We've barely touched
made
it.
no bread.
Yeah, the fridge is still pretty
We've
full.
made a little bread. Brad's made bread.
Brad's made beer bread. Ah,
Look at
and he's
that.
making it again. Oh my gosh. On the
Brad's
other
taking
side,
matters into his own hands.
He's
like, if you won't make bread, damn it, I'm gonna make bread.
I'm going to use every beer in this place. And on the other side, do you want to go to the other side?
Yeah.
We have enough tea. Am I really close on this?
No, you're good.
I have enough tea to last us, I don't know, till the end of the world, basically. We're not really running out of anything except for the fresh stuff. which we of course anticipated. And then down here, it's pretty messy, but over on this side we're starting to break into the canned and jar stuff. So that's the Italian section. This is vegetables. This is international right here. Wow, this floor is really dirty. We need to do some cleaning. International stuff here. And then we have the outside fridge, which was the freezer, which is down to just a couple of frozen things, and then we're going to convert it back into a fridge probably in the next day or two. So provisioning wise, we've only had to throw away a little bit. I had to throw away some zucchini. The carrots aren't doing so well. And then for fruit, our fruit is almost gone. We have oranges left, but I have a whole bunch of canned peaches and canned pineapple and applesauce and that kind of stuff to keep people eating fruit. So I think that's pretty much it. Any questions, Will?
We were concerned about leaving Europe and not having access to European products because of the fact that sort of there's things that we've been grown accustomed to over the last couple of weeks, months, years.
I can't take you serious right now. You look like an 80s rock star with your hair.
Why? What's wrong with my hair? What's wrong with my hair?
We got boat hair, we don't care. I've got dreadlocks. You've got...
Look at that.
What were you saying? You're on such a good thing and I didn't...
No, and we're landing in France, essentially, in Martinique. So,
right.
so
we haven't left Europe.
So I'm not really concerned about eating all the cheese because we're going to have plenty of cheese to get to.
At this point, we were 2 weeks into our crossing and things were going well. The winds were a consistent 13 to 20 knots of true wind during the day, which was ideal for flying the spinnaker. And going downwind, this translated to 7 to 13 knots of apparent wind, meaning that we were going between 6 and 7 knots of the most comfortable sailing you could ask for. But as the day went on, the winds picked up and we saw something on the horizon which, as we were about to find out, was the best thing we could have encountered all day.
Our wind angle is 120.
No, what's the wind now? What's this?
21 true, 16 apparent, up to like 18 apparent. So we are, that's our spinnaker. It's holding rock solid. It's doing a great job. We're doing speed in the water of 9.2 and speed over ground is 6.9. We're no longer getting the wonderful current behind us a little bit. Well, we're getting a little bit, but right now boat speed is faster than actual speed over ground just because we have a little bit of a counter current affecting us. And we're debating with the fact of whether we go ahead and take down the spinnaker or not, just because we've always been told that if you keep the spinnaker up like anything above 17 in a constant, it may be time to sort of bring it down because who knows what may be coming our way. We have some clouds that look like they're nothing, and the radar is saying that they're nothing, but they're looking a little dark. So we're just on the lookout real fast. Just want to make sure that we're on the ready. Largo's got a line. You gonna do magic tricks or you just
I'm just trying to do knots.
knots? You feeling alright?
Feel a little crazy.
There you go. Yep. Okay, I really do think we may just take the spinnaker down for now. It looks like it's a little squally. You're up to 22. So
Avalon and MOROCCO! All hands on deck!
the spinnaker lives to fly another day. That's a good thing.
Let's go! Alright.
We were about to take the spinnaker down when we noticed that the sail was hanging a bit lower than we would have liked. Thinking that the halyard might have slipped a little, we were concerned, but not too fussed, until we discovered the reason why the sail was not exactly affixed to the top. What you are seeing at the end of the halyard is the block that should be at the top of the mast. Let me explain. You see, the spinnaker is held by a halyard that comes out near the top of the mast, here, and is then taken around a block at the top of the mast, here. This gives the spinnaker the opportunity to get up the mast as high as possible and not cause chafing, as there is very little friction caused by the block. But once the shackle that held the block in place at the top of the mast became undone, we were at risk of a frayed halyard and losing the spinnaker in the water. Again, not good.
Everyone doing okay? Yep. To be honest, we could have ended up with another falling spinnaker.
I know, I was just thinking that it could have been much worse. We are practiced in retrieving the spinnaker from off the side of the...
I know, but close to the
Yeah, I know. I know, it was not fun when we did it.
What? You want to just take the Geno out this way? All right, Largo.
Now we had to figure out how we were going to manage with our best performing sail out of commission.
All right, 1,000 miles to go and no spinnaker line.
No,
You
we
know,
can reattach it. You have
we
to
can.
go up.
I just want to state for the record
What's that?
that I woke up from a dead sleep and said, I think we're going too fast. I think we need to get that spinnaker down.
You did.
I did.
You have.
So I have spinnaker intuition.
You have spinnaker intuition. The spinnaker thanks you for that.
The things I remember most are the safety things.
Listen, I don't know how many lives the spinnaker has, but I don't want to test them all.
Well, ours
in these
clearly
last
has
2 months.
8,000.
It's crazy.
Oh God. At least this happened towards the end of the trip. Imagine if it happened on day one.
And welcome to Evening Hour on SV Friendship. Welcome back to our little overnight watch. We're sailing without a spinnaker. We would normally sail at night without a spinnaker. Don't worry, this is not, we're doing just fine. But our concern once we got off and we got the spinnaker down, we're like, oh boy, since we can't fly during the day, our ability to go more dead downwind is becoming compromised. And, well, we may have to do a couple jibes. But what we encountered tonight, as we go down this track from Canaries to the Caribbean, is that what you normally see on the Atlantic crossing is this easterlies, that so you follow the trade winds and you go all the way down, and we're like in serious trade zone. We're not like cutting across early on the northerly side to try and sort of get to a more favorable route because there's less miles. We're like down into the 12s in the latitude, which means that, you know, most people will cut across in the 13s because that's sort of like the way that the whole shape of the earth goes. And like we should be blessed at that point with like amazingly easterlies because we went so far south. No, unfortunately, we have now northerlies, like crazy winds from the north that are coming down. So we're getting slammed all over the place, and it's no fun. If we have to have this same northerly route or northerly winds and get slammed for the last 8 days, well, we kind of don't have a choice. We're committed to this at this point. But it's not going to create a very fun passage for the rest of the crew. Jessica's not doing that great, so I'm taking her shift tonight, and we're just going to see how far we can get. She may come on later on, and then maybe we'll give Largo a break.
I'm okay.
Not exactly the glorious sailing adventure that we went for.
Excuse me. Just, I put the patch back on last night, and I feel like I'm not seasick, but I have like a pit in my stomach, and I'm really congested. But I'm not seasick, so I'm just taking a little rest, and I go on watch in like an hour and 10 minutes. So I think I'm gonna be okay. What do you think, Will?
I think that I'm thinking that for let me predicate this with the fact that there are purists out there who think that the only way to really sail around the world is in a monohull. I'm so glad I'm in the catamaran because I can only imagine what it's like to be heeled over in the rain, in this misery, and saying,
Love my life.
I really do love my life. I'm just glad that we're not heeled over at this point.
I think I was like 5 minutes from saying, let's just do a monohull. Because I knew I got seasick, but you don't realize the magnitude of being seasick on a ferry for an hour or two, or maybe on a cruise ship one evening, is very different than being seasick for a week and having no land in sight. Like it's, and there's no like formal night on the cruise ship to distract you, or really good prawns or something like that.
This to a cruise ship?
Yeah, it's kind of like it, right? I think I'm Julie, the cruise director from the Love Boat.
That's not even close to it.
I know. What am I? I'm the patient in the infirmary.
And then all along while we're here, I feel like now that we're 2 weeks into this now, around there.
2 weeks, 5 hours, 30 seconds. No.
We had a list of like accomplishments that we wanted to get done while we're here on board this journey, because as much as we want to call this a sabbatical, a break from life, there's still things that we want to get done. And because unfortunately when we tie back up, we're going to be so behind on other things that we just have to sort of just like get as much done now so that we're not all stressed out when we arrive.
And how's that going for you?
It's not going that great. It's really not. I mean, there are other things that I have. Okay, so let's talk about the things that I have not yet done. I practiced the ukulele like one day. I can play a song.
You can?
Barely.
Oh, McDonald.
No, I can play a better song than that. Barely. I read a book for a day. Not enough. I've gone ahead. What I've really done is I've more so like organized the boat, like all the receipts, all the instruction manuals. I've taken like every corner of this boat and decided what actually makes sense and what doesn't. The other thing that I would like to say, I mean, because like anything else, you learn while you're doing, and we've learned a ton about how this boat handles while we're here.
Very well.
Very well. Buying the pole was the best investment that we could have made ever.
This would have been a 3-month trip.
This would have been, yeah. Well, now with the spinnaker Hal-yard being decommissioned for a little while, we're probably adding like another 36 hours to this trip, and we're burning a lot more gas, which is not good. But we've learned how to maneuver the sail shape much better to go downwind, because in the Med, there's no downwind sailing. I know it exists, but it only lasts for like 10 minutes. Look at that. That is our lunch today. Today we are preparing our last of our frozen pre-made meals, the lasagna. We're going to put in both dishes because, well, we're ready to make our freezer back into a refrigerator. It's only got a handful of items left, and it's not worth it to keep it as a freezer anymore. And that's what we're doing today. One of the things we realized a lot during this passage is, once again, we were taking the Atlantic Passage to be our shakedown cruise. We would have done it during our Portuguese crossing to the Canaries, but a lot of things went wrong, and we didn't sort of exactly test this to be as a pure sail when we went down to the 6-day Canary thing. So what we're realizing now is, for propane, we're utilizing so much propane on board. We're using camping gas bottles, which are little 3-kilo bottles that have butane in it. When we get to the Caribbean, we're going to switch over to propane and then get bigger bottles and get a different regulator. But all that being said, these little bottles are lasting us this much, and we're now at the point where, with about 8 days left, we're kind of concerned about whether we're going to have enough cooking gas to go ahead and get us through the hump. We have enough grains and everything else that if we have to go dry and not cook, we're gonna be okay, but we have a menu. We have a Brad to go ahead and keep happy with the menu. So we're trying our best. I'm hoping that what's left in bottle number 3, because we have 4, is going to last through today, and then tomorrow, with 7 days left, then we'll be able to go ahead and ride it out with that last bottle of propane. It's a work in process, learning how this works. What would you do if we ran out of propane right now?
Did you see that face?
Seriously, what would you do if we ran out of propane right now?
Well, we have another one.
We do, but what if we ran out of that one too?
I don't know. I feel like there's no right answer to this. This is a trick question. I'm gonna eat my Choco Pops with soy milk for the next 24 meals. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Dipped with rice cakes and some rotten oranges back there. Oh, we have a ton of onions. We could just eat onion for lunch.
What would you eat, Avalon, if we ran out of cooking gas? And we had nothing but dry stuff?
Literally what I'm eating right now. So there's like cans of corn.
Largo, if we ran out of the ability to cook, what would you eat?
Crackers.
Crackers. Century, what would you eat? You're easy.
It's a big deal being out of sight of land. Last summer in the Balearics, it was hard leaving land for the first time. Now it's been more than 2 weeks since we left the Canaries, and it feels like we are one with friendship and the sea. We seem to have the common understanding that we will all take care of each other as long as we respect one another. We have developed a bond. We're all doing fine. We could not ask for better weather. The boat is holding up perfectly. We are all getting along great, or as great as can be expected, and all of our supplies appear to be lasting according to plan. It's situations like these where you're just happy to be alive because sometimes second chances are hard to come by. On this Atlantic crossing, I really do feel like we are living our best life. Knowing that we had a little time on our hands, we decided this would be the best time to try something that we had been too timid to try in a marina. That was to test our personal locator beacons, otherwise known as PLBs.
Welcome to the 2022 World Towning PLB class. For this class, we will be...
There be homework.
I don't like students who want homework. First of all, we have to note that a PLB stands for a personal locator beacon. It is used when you're falling into the water and you need to locate someone.
When you fall in the water with your life jacket on?
Yeah.
It's inside the jacket?
Yep. Oh, okay. When it comes out, it will not be armed. You have to arm it yourself.
Oh, it doesn't automatically turn on. Okay.
No. First of all, you have to take this plastic cap off.
Okay.
Slide this out. And now it's transmitting.
Oh my god. Jeez, you gotta make sure it doesn't
Yay.
poke out your eyeballs.
It's transmitting?
Yep, it's transmitting.
It's transmitting right now. Who's it transmitting to?
I assume it'd be showing up on an AIS.
Were you supposed to?
Whoa.
I don't know. You're not supposed to.
Well, this is not exactly how we planned it would go. The demonstration was supposed to be in test mode, but, well, things did not go as planned.
When someone falls in and arms it, it'll make that noise in our boat.
No. If it activates. Right now, Margot turned it on, not in test mode. So other boats think that there's someone in trouble.
Okay, so can we tell other boats that no one's in trouble and then
I think we have
finish
to disarm it, Margot. How do you disarm it?
I read the manual. It said put it back.
Since these PLBs are AIS PLBs, not EPIRB, which transmit to a remote location via satellite, this was not as bad as it seemed. The PLB only transmits to other boats within 5 miles, and there were no other vessels in sight. But just in case there was someone we could not see, we gave a quick shout out on the VHF.
All stations, all stations, all stations. This is sailing vessel Friendship, sailing vessel Friendship. We have an MOB alert that is out. It is only for test purposes. Repeat, this is sailing vessel Friendship. We have an MOB alert out. The MOB was inadvertently activated. It is not a real MOB alarm.
So in the event this was a real emergency, if no one's around with a VHF, which is probably likely considering where we are, we're gonna die.
Yep.
Well, the idea is there's someone else on the boat, and they'll go, what's going on?
This is the test.
Let's just recap this. Okay, personal locator beacon alarm. What this does, it sends out a distress call to everyone within the area that has a VHF radio. This is the only type of test you can do in the middle of the Atlantic where there's no one around. Because if you did this in a marina or any type of coastal waterways, I guarantee you're gonna have someone breathing down your neck.
I've never seen Avalon jump so fast from one end of the city to the other.
If you think that being a teenager and being out at sea for weeks does not take a toll, well, Avalon decided that now it was time to reach out to someone. Anyone.
Avalon has decided to become a message in a bottle writer.
I don't think this is something I'm gonna be doing very often, Dad.
What do you have there? How many pages did you write?
I have, well, one both sides and one like a quarter of a side.
And what are you telling in this letter to a mystery person?
I give my opinion on the meaning of life. I actually do. What it's like to be a teenager in this day and age. And just a bit about me.
Who do you want to have read this first?
No one. You're not reading it, that's what you're asking.
No, when it makes landfall, or
Oh, I can't control that.
if you had an ideal person, who would it be to read
If I
this?
had an ideal person to read this. I don't have an ideal person. Just someone who will respond and tell me where they found it.
appreciate it, right?
Yeah, well, I don't care if they appreciate it, as long as they don't like throw it in the trash.
Do you put your email address in there?
Yes.
She put our bank account information on.
Okay, I need
Send me $10,000. I'm in trouble. Help.
Get me off this crazy boat with these whack jobs.
So with a change to her ceremonial best, Avalon was now ready to let her secrets go out into the vastness of the ocean.
Why, Dad?
Avalon, are you ready for someone to hear your innermost secrets?
I did not put my innermost secrets in a bottle and I'm gonna chuck on the ocean. That'd be a very poor decision.
So what are you telling them?
I rickrolled them.
You did not.
I did.
So is Tom Holland gonna get this finally?
I swear to God. I'm gonna toss that camera over with this bottle. I don't even... Not worth it. Yeah, seriously, that's enough. No, seriously, off the camera, off record, don't put this in the video. I don't have a crush on Tom Holland.
You used to.
I haven't for 3 years.
Catch up, old man. Goodness.
And clearly, since I do have a celebrity crush right now, you're so out of it, you don't even know who it is.
Who is it? It's me, isn't it? Because I'm a celebrity.
Where do you think it's gonna go?
I don't know. If I had to take a guess, I hope it goes someplace that speaks English, because I did write a lot and I don't have the best handwriting, so I think it'd be best if someone reads it who understands English. But I would be fine with anywhere, and I think it's probably going to go to the Caribbean like us.
We're officially right now like 650 miles from the Caribbean, around there.
That's probably what.
Closer probably to South America than the Caribbean.
It might end up in South America.
Or it could just...
current's going to carry it up towards the US.
Oh, good.
Wait.
English speaking.
Where's it going?
The ocean currents are going to carry it up towards the US. So.
Oh my God, Avalon.
What?
None and Bob are gonna get it.
They do live by the water.
What do you have to say for anyone who might read this? What do you have to say to them?
Don't publish it on the internet.
All right, ready?
All right, you ready? Ready? Hold on. It's released.
There it is.
Wow, we're pretty fast.
It's so cute.
See that what happened if someone fell overboard.
I can't even see the bottle anymore.
I can. Wow.
It sure does go fast. Wow.
With that, we have 600 nautical miles left. In the next episode, we finally make landfall, but we still have issues as we get a little too close for comfort to a Royal Caribbean cruise ship. Be sure to hit the notification button to get access to the next episode as soon as it is released.
I may have to make some bread because I think we have some cheddar left, so we can do some grilled cheese.
Bake shaming you
He's bake shaming me.
into making cheese, making bread.
Atlantic, what's wrong with you? And I think this is not what I signed on for.
I'm either on watch or cooking or sleeping. I don't know where people have time to write a book while they're crossing.
Where's your bottle?
I do something smarter. I put like a phone number in it. I wouldn't put like my deepest inner thoughts.